Hey kids, welcome to Unit 3, Lesson 4, Array Algorithms, exercise number 3. We have a choose your own adventure. And kids, this is one of those ones, no matter what you choose, the answer is almost identical. I'm going to mix things up and go with planets, kids, because you know I am a space nerd. Let's go ahead and jump into the code. The planets class has instance variables for a 1D array containing the names of each planet, and a 1D array containing the number of hours in a day for each planet. In the method hasDayLength, we're going to traverse the day's length array and check if the current value is less than the value defined. Return true if the current value is less than the value defined. If no values in day length is less than the values defined, return false. Well, this sounds a lot like the last lesson we just did, where they wrote the code. I think this time we're going to write it. If you get caught up, kids, just look back at the last exercise. Let's take a look at our code. We have a string array planets list, which looks like it has a bunch of planet names here. And our friend Pluto, well, that's awesome, code.org. We have the day lengths, and this looks like it corresponds to the planets. We're instantiating a new object, myPlanets. It is of the planets class, taking two parameters. Those are our arrays. We have one print statement, and it is saying a planet's length of a day is less than 24 hours. And then from the myPlanets object, we're calling the method hasDaysLength and passing the parameter 24. Well, let's check out planets. We have two private arrays, names and day length, one constructor. It takes two parameters. That's our names and days length. We have a get method for names and get length. And then we have a Boolean hasDayLength, which takes one value defined. And I think that's our 24 number. Right now, it's returning false. And here is where we have to write the code. And they give us all the hints we need if we know what to look for. First, we have to traverse the day lengths array. That means we need a for loop. Let's write that out. For, we're going to do our parentheses and our curly cues. And we're going to start getting a habit. This is going to be my for loop close, because we're going to start ending up with a lot of loops here, kids. Inside here, I want to declare some things. Well, I'm going to declare my index, which is going to be set to 0. Don't forget your semicolon in between each statement. As long as our index is less than the, and what array do we want to traverse? The day's length, the day lengths. And we want to get the length of that. We want to go through the entire array. And as long as we're less than the total length of the day's length array, we're going to increment our index up 1. Well, that's this part. Now, if at least one value in the day's length array is less than a parameter, we're going to return true, otherwise false. That means it's an if statement. And if, we're going to need our parentheses and our curly cues here. This is now end of if. What are we checking inside here? Well, if that day lengths, and we want to go through each individual index, right, kids? That's what we've been doing all lesson. So if the array days lengths index is less than the value to find, then we're going to return true. We should have two curly cues before the return statement and two after. This should be our end of class. We don't want to get anything confused here. What we just did was wrote a method that is getting passed a value. In this case, it's 24. We're traversing the day lengths array. And if any of those day lengths at that index is less than the value, which is 24, we're going to return true, otherwise false. And we should return true because there are planets with less than a 24-hour day length. Let's go over to my console. Let's test our code and see what prints off. And we get true. Look like our code worked pretty good. Key takeaway from this lesson, kids, is really reinforcing the idea that we can use a list to return specified data. We're using a very basic example. If our list contains something, we want it to return true or false. We wrote our code to look through all the elements. If one of my elements was less than the parameter that we specified, we return true. Again, kids, the rest of this unit is really going to be leveling up these skills about how we traverse these arrays and filter this information. And hopefully, kids, this video helped you understand how to traverse those arrays. As always, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. See you later, kids. Bye, bye, bye.